Hello, WhatCulture, Simon Miller here, and I'm coming to you, I was going to say live, kind of live, it's live for me. Look, it's The Undertaker's coffin. And I'm sure it's the real coffin, it's probably the one, he had that match with Yokozuna. This could be the coffin that he floated away into. Remember that when The Undertaker died and they, like, LCD boarded him into heaven? That was a real thing. So remember, when you do moan about, let's not worry about it. Anyway, I'm here with my man Phil, who is obviously operating the camera today at a WWE 2K20 preview event. Comes out in a few weeks, I think it's October the 22nd, top of my head. And we got to have a little play, so I thought I would come again to my man's dead box, new word for coffin, and tell you a little bit about it. Now, the major thing is, I think sometimes when it comes to the WWE games, people, I'm not going to say they expect a little bit too much. You should expect it. You're putting your hard-earned money down. But it has become a yearly sports franchise. And if you're into FIFA or Pro Evo or NBA or whatever, you know that you have to expect iterations instead of like these grand sweeping changes. And I think that's kind of what we've come to expect. Well, at least what I've come to expect now. And I actually think it's quite decent. Like, the thing that stuck out to me straight away is that the reversals are so much easier to do. They're on the Y button now. And when you're in the back, one day I would personally like a wrestling game to come out there that kind of feels like you're simulating a wrestling match. So, if I'm playing with Phil, we're not actually playing to try and beat the other one. We're trying to have a 5-star classic in the Tokyo Dome. That's not really what we got here. They are based on competition and sports. And that's why I kind of feel like the reversal button in many ways is the most important part of the gameplay. Because if you have AJ Styles versus, I don't know, Finn Balor, you can get into these incredible wars where you're reversing arm bars and headlocks and hip tosses, and AJ Styles will go with a phenomenal forearm, but Finn Balor will catch him out the sky. And when you do kind of get that momentum going, you really do react in the same way that you may do if you're watching it live, especially if you're playing it with someone else. I've always said this about the WWE 2K games. As the internet became a thing and online play was so important, we moved away from same sofa or same couch play. If you do this, especially with this one, because it's always the same, when you're able to pull those things off, you'll pop out your chair. You feel like a nerd, you feel like a geek, but that's okay. It's good to be a nerd, it's good to be a geek. In terms of visuals, the entrances especially look really good. Like, we did Randy Orton's entrance, and we saw somebody else doing Bray Wyatt, sorry, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, excuse me, or Bray Wyatt The Fiend, whatever we're calling him. And the facial models, and again, the character, I sound like a guy, in the interview wrestlers, they don't play games. They go, what do you think? Oh, the graphics are really good, but they really do. Like, the visuals have certainly taken a step up. And then when you get into the nitty-gritty, yeah, it's kind of what you come to expect. It's kind of what you would imagine it would be. But it does feel, it's a bit smoother. The animation is a little bit better. Moves sort of come together. I don't want to overdo it, but they do. It just feels like you're having more of a fluid wrestling match, and maybe some of that clunkiness is gone. I mean, the submission system is back when you chase the wheels. The pin system is still the system, which is actually really good. The pin system, if you don't know, is you have a circle and you have a little red dot, and you've got to hold the A button, and we were playing on Xbox One, and let go when the line, whatever you want to call it, is in that zone. If you're good at it, I tell you, you can get some real sort of 1-2, near-fall kickouts. If you're bad like me, you'll be doing Brock Lesnar versus Jack Gallagher in an Extreme Rules match, and you lose because you can't. I've never been able to do it. It's on me. It's not on the game. Obviously, there's a load of stuff that's come back as well. I'm not going to go through it all because I didn't experience it, but I was able to play around about maybe 45 minutes to an hour of the career mode, which obviously comes back for a second time. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work out, but you create a male character and you create a female character, and they have a relationship throughout the story. I mean, the first thing I did, I was having a Money in the Bank match. I'm not going to remember everyone, but it was my female character with Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and probably a Becky Lynch and Natalia. There was a lot going on I didn't notice. And then that ties into a story with your male character, and then before long I was having a feud with AJ Styles. I think it's important to have these narratives, the narrative modes that you can do, because it's like anything. If you just do match, eventually you are going to want to have some kind of plot to just, encourage you to play more. So it's cool that that's back. And outside of that, like I say, yeah, I did a one-on-one, I did a Hell in a Cell, I did a TLC, I did an Extreme Rules match, and everything just feels a little bit better, a little bit further on than it was last year. And of course, usually what happens is they introduce features in 2018, which they will then try and at least perfect in 2019. And again, I probably played it for a maximum of 2.5 hours. So I can't give you a definitive review of what it's going to be like. But on the surface, if you like the WWE games and you enjoy the direction they have been headed in over the last few years, I think you'll be pleased. I'll think you enjoy it. And obviously, when we do get a full copy in, we will review it here on one of the many WhatCulture channels. You can keep an eye out. You can keep an eye out for it. Trying to think of the other matches that I had. Oh yeah, I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about ratings? I don't know. Let's just do it anyway. Get cut out. It'll get cut out, right? Rusev. I was going to start with this. Rusev is a 78. A 78. No wonder he left the company recently. I like the revival. I think Dash and Dawson are great. If they watch this isn't a rag on you. But Dawson is 82 and Rusev is 78. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that sits there and goes on Twitter and goes, I don't agree with these ratings. But what is the deal with Rusev in WWE now? Lana cheated on him, Bobby Lashley's mad at him, and now he's got worst rating in WWE 2K. 70. He was undefeated until WrestleMania when he came out on a damn tank. It's all John Cena's fault. I didn't look at John Cena. I think somebody was 93. Brock Lesnar was 93. So I'm going to guess Cena is going to, and Seth Rollins was 92. So I'm going to guess that, yeah, Cena must be in that kind of bracket. I should have figured out who was number one in terms of the numbers. I didn't do that. But you have to wait. You have to wait till it comes out. Right, that's it. I've waffled on long enough. In the meantime, like the video, share the video, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know if you enjoyed 2K19. Let me know if you're excited about 2K20. Actually, last little bit, I did see it was somebody else got further into the story mode than me. And there was this incredible thing. I don't know what it was, but it was the Fiend Bray Wyatt taking on old school Undertaker, like 94-esque Undertaker. And it looked like they were on some 2D plane and they were in a graveyard and it had some sort of cool, like grey filter over it. I have no idea what that was, but I will tell you that I paused my game to watch his game to try and figure out what's going on. So I actually think that the developers this time around have added a little bit more spice, maybe a few things that will surprise you, which is cool, that aren't just going to take place in the ring. I think be that in career mode or maybe some of the towers, whatever they've got, I actually think they'll put you in scenarios that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily get when you were just watching Raw or SmackDown, and I think that would be doubly cool because for a while I've been like, why don't we have more wrestling games that aren't just necessarily wrestling focused? Remember that one on the Game Boy when you were Triple H, or you were Triple H and Stephanie McMahon had been kidnapped by The Undertaker and you had to go save her. It was like an action platform game. Now look, it wasn't the best, but I appreciated the effort, and I think not to that extent, but again, I think there may be some curveballs, some surprises, and I look forward to seeing more. Right, I'm going to wrap up. Again, 2K20 comes out in a few weeks. Keep an eye out. Let me know what you think about the series in general, and I will talk to you again soon.